Crass, Conflict, The Subhumans, Flux of Pink Indians, Rudimentary Peni, Poison Girls, Amoebex, Chumbawamba, Oi Polloi. These are the biggest anarcho-punk bands out there, but none of them feature on the compilation I'm talking about today. But let's see how the lesser-known bands of the genre fare amongst the daddies and girls, Poison Girls, for example, of this particular style of music. So you'll get 10 punk points for every band you've heard of. Add it up at the end and put it in the comments. It's just for fun. I know punks like to take things really seriously, but it's just a bit of fun. We need our punk points in life. So the compilation is called Anti-War. It's an anarcho-punk compilation from Overboard Records, released in 2005, making me 19 years late. Oh, hang on. It's 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. Let me try that again. The compilation is called Anti-War. It's an anarcho-punk compilation from Overboard Records, released in 2005, making me 20 years late to the party. Happy New Year. But most, if not all of these songs were recorded in the 80s, making me 40 plus years late to the parties. Anti-War is volume 1 of 4 punk compilations Overboard Records released as part of their Anti collection. It's not a celebration of antis, you know, like your anti-Mary and anti-whoever. It's like anti-state, anti-society, anti-capitalism. I've only got the first one for some reason. So this is the 4th punk compilation I've reviewed. Why do all my punk compilations begin with A? I don't know. This will be the last punk compilation for a while. I'm quite thankful of that, I'll be honest. Technically, I should be reviewing and ranking Underground Network by Anti-Flag, but it's a bit grim with everything that's going on with that band now. I can't really bring myself to do it. I won't judge you if you can still enjoy Anti-Flag's music. I've done essays about enjoying art by awful people before, but maybe I will listen to it one day. I can't bring myself to listen to them, so. Right, anyway, let's crack on with the review. Dirt, Anti-War. Lots of out-of-tune guitars and screeching with a crazy angry "yes sir I will" type breakdown. Sounds a bit like Conflict and that Honey Bane song she did with Crass. I hope I don't end up comparing everyone to Crass. I suppose that's a risk you take listening to an anarcho-punk compilation. Track 2, Zounds, War. Funk meets anarcho-punk. Short and sweet. It could have been longer, to be honest. I enjoyed that. More bands should have been an anarcho-funk crossover. Track 3, Metro Youth, Red Rifles. Sounds like a really, really, really rough demo. Sounds like the band's only been together a month. The backing vocals are cool. Where did that saxophone solo come from? It was totally random, but sounded ace. Track 4, Flowers in the Dustbin, November's song. Cool, gothic, Joy Division type vibes going on here. It's emo before it's emo. All of these bands sound really English. This is probably the most produced song on the album so far. This reminds me a bit of the adverts as well. Gary Gilmore's Eyes. It's good. Simps add another colour. These should be more well known. Track 5, Kronstadt Uprising, Blind People. I think I've butchered that. It's a bit messy. Mix is very 80s punk garage. There's a catchy chorus it could do with a proper recording. Track 6, Political Asylum, Disarm or Die. This reminds me of Jello Biafra and the Melvins, but if it was Dave Vanian and the bloke from Flux of Pink Indians with the Melvins. It had a rough 80s anarcho production going on. You're going to hear that a lot. It was a really catchy chorus. It was impressive for the band's first ever song. And it was live as well. Track 7, The Astronauts, Typically English Day. It's an acoustic melodic contrast to the rest of the songs, but I really don't like this. Everything is very corny. The guitar picking, the bloke's voice, the strings, the lyrics. It's rescued ever so slightly by the bass when it kicks in. Track 8, Anthrax, Introduction to War. Not the big 4 Anthrax from across the pond. A first demo that has loads of potential to sit at the same table as Conflict and the rest. It's very short though. It feels like it's only a quarter finished. They need to rewrite it. Track 9, The A-Heads, Forgotten Hero. Bass-driven rock, more than punk, with weird classical operatic vocals, especially during the chorus. It sounds a bit like Bro Hymn by Pennywise. Track 10, The System, Dogs of War. I really like this. Catchy, energetic. If Flux were from Wigan. There's more Flux of Pink Indians comparisons than Crass. This is mad long, but because it's so catchy, you don't really mind. I will be seeking out some more stuff by these guys for sure. Track 11, Sanction, Unknown Soldier. The backing vocals are so annoying, but it's another "where did that saxophone come from" track, and it's glorious. These guys should have recorded more. I love all the tempo changes in this. It's early Subhumans and Laird Lyncher Landlord and X-Ray Specs on cocaine and Crass all merged together, if you can imagine such a thing. Track 12, Instigators, The Blood Is On Your Hands. Well-produced, northern-sounding, catchy punk that sounds like it would be fun live. Great bass tone in the breakdown. Sounds like they can actually play their instruments. For fans of Rudimentary Peni, I really enjoyed that. I'm going to seek out some more. Track 13, Blood Robots, The Valley. How are you getting on with your punk points? If you're on 140, you're on a full house. Recording is terrible and they're really sloppy. I feel like a record executive on this one. Come back to me when you've practiced more and have better recording equipment. Track 14, The Lost Cherries. Why does it have to be a dream? I like this, but I can't pinpoint why. The dual vocals work really well on it. Drumming is on point. The bass intro should be milked a lot more than it is. Track 15, Riot/Cone, New Vestation. I don't like bands that use slashes in the name. Why did they do that? I love the intro. A cappella Cockney shouting. It's short and sweet, perfect length. I listened to the intro 3 or 4 times. They should exploit that a lot more. A lot of these songs are your standard anarcho ditties. Track 16, Youth in Asia, When the Wind Blows. Not whistle, When the Wind Blows. That's a extras reference in case you got it. The vocals aren't my cup of tea. They're a bit warbly and out of time. I'm not a fan of the name of the band or the music. This went on so much that I read their wiki page and they have a song called They Shoot Children, Don't They? So do Oi Polloi, so I got sidetracked and went on YouTube to see if it was the same song. I don't think it's the same song. Track 17, Psychofaction, Threat. If the Ramones emigrated to Whitehaven and untuned their instruments and changed their lyrics to be overtly political, then you'd end up with this. I like the Ramones as they are. That was a bit catty, wasn't it? Track 18, Naked. What a way to die. What a way to die naked. A bit like that Blues Brothers riff, you know. It's more first wave punk than anarcho. It's a bit skipical. It's a bit skippable, to be honest. Sorry, lads and lasses. Track 19, Omega Tribe, Duty Calls. I was enjoying the mid-80s Discord Records sound in the intro until the vocals came in. I think I'm getting a bit anarcho fatigue at this point. I'd probably enjoy this more if it was track 2 or track 3. The vocals sound like a posh Pete Wright and an untrained Eve Libertine. Eve Libertine. Let me try that again. The vocals sound like a posh Pete Wright and an untrained Eve Libertine. Both of crass. Track 20, Anti-System. Government Lies. That's such a punk name. Anti-System. Love how shouty and simple this is. Catchy punk chorus that finished after a minute and a half. Speaking of Discord Records, it's like a song called Pressure's On from 20 Years of Discord Compilation. I forget the name of the band. Always on my back. Pressure's always on. No. So yeah, comment if you know the name of that band and you can get 25 punk points for that. A little bonus. Track 21, Faction, Obligatory War Song. It's frustrating, really. The bass nails the intro and then the rest of the instruments come in lethargic and half-tempo. It's another song that sounds a bit like Tube Disasters by the Epileptics. I bet you thought I was going to say Flux then, didn't you? I wish this was the Faction from America with Steve Caballero on it. You know, from Tony Hawk. Tony Hawks. Is it Tony Hawk or Tony Hawks? Tony Hawks. Track 22, Rebella Ballet. Belfast. I love how quirky this is without being really over the top. The lyrics are pretty deep and sinister, but delivered quite cheerily. That felt like half a song. I want the other half, please. Track 23, Snipers, I Know. A punk band from Oxfordshire. They do sound like a posh crass. Another quirky one, but not overtly angry. You could play this at your grandma and she wouldn't be too disturbed by it. What I really like about this CD is that a lot of the bands on it are so obscure. Only recorded demos, weren't going long, never reformed. It kind of gives them a cool mystique, making it more of a punk rock relic. This makes the lack of tuning and musicianship at times forgivable. If anything, it adds to it. It's more of an archive CD than something I'd listen to on the regular. When you get used to the demo production, it's not all that bad. I like how some bands had random sax solos or synths, experimenting with the atypical anarcho styles. The box set would have been great with tons of liner notes with info on each band and why they were chosen and what they contributed to the scene, but we didn't really get any of that. So for the whole package and the music and the nostalgia of it and everything, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. So now I'm going to rank the Anti-War CD amongst the rest of the CDs in my collection thus far. Like the other compilations, it's going to be disqualified because compilations are cheating. So I'm going to stick it in between Angry Scenes Volume 4 and Life at Tether's End by Andy T. Another anarcho guy. There's lots of anarcho, isn't there? Here's a rundown of the chart. for watching. Comment down below how many punk points you got. I think it was out of 230, and then an extra 25 if you could name the song Pressure's On, the band who sang that on Discord. So what's that? 255. It's just a bit of fun, nothing serious. You don't win a prize. You just become the most punkiest punk in the history of punk if you win. Do you own this relic of a compilation? So like and subscribe to become a disc burner. I'm just trying out the phrase disc burner. I might drop it for the next video. I've got videos on the Subhumans coming out and the Arctic Monkeys. It's not all Anarctic Monkeys. Anarcho Monkeys. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.